It was going well.
It is over.
Yeah,
Had to add that in.
Right.
Of course. I say acknowledge us. I say acknowledge us.
Yeah.
You might as well
us.
start saying
Us.
this
I ain't
podcast
say
is
me.
brought to you by the tribal chief.
You
Good
know
thing he's
what?
a sponsor.
You
gotta
know
reach out.
what?
Hey, some sponsorship. What's going on here? All the love you show that man. My
I
goodness.
I used to have this merch. I used to be all tribal chief. All tribal chief
Yeah.
at one point.
Nothing wrong
Yes.
with it, man.
Then he got the dead at the table right there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wore at the Rampage at AEW the CM Punk debut. Untouched.
So you can wear that stuff at AEW though.
You
Oh,
can.
yeah. It's a lot of
You
love.
can. That's true.
Yeah.
I actually got acknowledged by some little kids. Like, yeah, damn right.
You can.
Damn right.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They don't trip off that stuff.
No, that's true. That's true. Hey, so truth be told about us with AEW, so I hope you know, we are fans of AEW. We just see, because sometimes people are just like,
Be quiet, David.
so like in love with AEW that it's like they can do no wrong, you know, and we try to be real objective about it. When it comes to WWE, it's the same thing. Like when WWE invents this stupid shit, it's like, okay, nah,
Yeah, I know. Y'all usually always acknowledge.
we try to keep it real. So AEW is like, you know, I love watching women's wrestling. You know, I feel like the women's wrestling has just come so far that, I mean, really NXT is what did it for me. Like seeing the Four Horsewomen and just how great they were, even back in the day too, with, you know, the Trishas and the Jacquelines and all the different wrestlers that were coming up. You could see it starting to get there. But really with those four, it was like, oh, okay, like this is really getting to that next level. And I see talent in AEW that's not being used on this women's side, and I'm like, why not? You know what I'm saying? And you just keep hearing like, just be patient, wait for it. And it's like, well, but you
That's
have
what Kiki be saying, be patient.
yeah,
Who,
like the
who
Britt
in particular
Bakers.
do you want to see?
I mean, all of them. Like I said, my thing is that it seems like week to week, you know, from the beginning of AEW, and maybe now it's becoming more so that they're giving us more than one match. But it seemed weird that it was only one match in a 2-hour show. You know, a one women's matchup. Maybe you get a promo thrown in there from a Britt Baker, right? But an actual matchup, like you can't give us in a 2-hour show more than one. Where Thunder Rosa, sometimes you'll see her like every other week. If
About
that,
Sheeta, the AEW,
It was
when she was
more-
the
champion.
champion wasn't there every week.
Like I
You
get it,
know,
she was in
but
New
that
Japan and Joshi, but it was no video, no promo of her.
Yeah.
Just nothing about her talking about the tournament at the time when they was talking about the.
Yeah, that tournament. Yeah, they did that.
Well,
YouTube,
it has a lot to do with the network, and then you have to also, some of the ladies, this is still like their first time getting comfortable being on TV too. So it was like a lot of mistakes happening, and the network was like, okay, if they can't get it, they can't get on TV because we trying to make money. So that's why they started Dark and Elevation, so that way they could start cutting promos on Dark and improve. That's how Jungle Boy improved as far as promos, because he expressed that he gets wildly uncomfortable. He has anxiety when he has to cut a promo, and that's why he never did one. And they was like, Jungle Boy, you are part of the 4 pillars. You got to start cutting promos. He like did a legit promo, like comfortably, like you could tell that he was in his comfort zone, and that was last week. So they're getting better at it. They still kind of relying on Britt Baker a little bit. Like she has to realize that she's like the face of the women's division.
Right.
Like, cause she's popular, but she's still not, it's not hitting still, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, it's not hit, it's not there. Like it's like she's missing something. And I can't put my finger on it. Jade is getting better too. So.
Oh, they gonna strap the rocket to Jade.
Oh yeah, they give me
Strap the rocket.
I love Jade.
The crowd
I
loves
think
Jade.
she'll
That
be the
pops got the
TBS
battle royal.
champion, honestly.
That'd be a good look. I think they love Britt Baker. They can't wait to say DMD.
I know.
For me though, I think women's wrestling just historically just doesn't draw the same. And so when you're establishing a new company, because when people think of pro wrestling, they think of men. So you establish your men, and then you bring your women along. And it's a trial and error. I mean, they tried to make Britt Baker a babyface first.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was an error there, and then they quickly flipped course. But they needed talented women, and they needed women that the crowd would care about more, because no matter what we think of like in-ring product, the characters drive this thing. So you get people we care about more. So we got Jade, who people love, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. People are liking Ty Conti a lot more now. She got away from the NXT bubble, which is what, #1 contender now, right?
Yeah.
Who else?
She ain't ready for it, but
she's losing. Yeah, she gonna take the L.
Yeah.
But like the crowd, she's hot right now. They got the entire TBS championship tournament. So I mean, the seeds were there. I mean, I used to talk before about how like when Sheeta was champion, the title division, the title feuds were about the title, the fighting champion, whereas Britt Baker was like the personality to get people involved in the dramatic aspect. Her feud with Thunder, her feud with Big Swole, for example. So now they've melded it together. They've got more characters along with the talent you can care for, hence leading to a second championship.
Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, I get it when you're saying, okay, you don't want to put them out there as much because in the beginning there were botches and you were having some issues or whatever, and and again you're saying about them not being a draw, but you can't be a draw unless you get out there and you start letting people see you consistently and starting to care. So it's like you can't hold back and then expect them to start drawing if no one's really seeing them. Like Thunder Rosa, like that's the biggest one where I'm like, it seemed like as soon as she came in, it was clear she was a superstar. Yet for whatever reason, it was a lot of inconsistency around her, being showcased, and I just don't understand that. Like maybe this is just, seeing it from how the WWE has done, with a lot of different wrestlers, but usually when you're that good, they showcase you week in and week out. And
you gotta remember, Thunder Rosa do multiple things at one time. She has her own. She has her own too. She's over the company in Texas.
Yeah, Mission
and then plus around that time she was still tied in with NWA. So she had to wait until her contract was up with NWA to be fully committed to AEW.
Well, not only that, you also have to, because AEW is such a new company, they have to get names, that drawing power. Because, even on the men's side, when they had the first title defense, they didn't give it to Hangman Page. They gave it to Chris Jericho because everybody knows Chris Jericho.
Right.
With the women's division, not a lot of people knew who Britt Baker was. That's why they started to bring in a lot of the different names onto their promotion. Plus, on top of that, WWE done took everyone. They took everyone and they're holding on to everyone. So now we're like waiting for, as we see now, a lot of those women that were underused in WWE are now coming over to AEW and they're helping out that division. Like women like Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho, they can definitely help out women like Red Velvet, women who never wrestled in front of a large crowd, didn't have to do promos, having to work a camera, like, remembering which camera is the hard side and stuff like that. So I think I'm very patient with this division because look how long it took for the NXT women's division to really come up. When NXT first started, nobody really knew who Becky was, Sasha, Bailey, or really Charlotte. Like, it took a while for them to really come onto their own, just like we see with Britt Baker. When Britt Baker started, she was a babyface, not only that, but even when she first turned heel, it wasn't connecting to the crowd that much until she started to make it her own. She started to do more things, put in little things in her promos and stuff like that to really, to like really connect with the crowd and everything like that. And now she's like the biggest thing in their division right now, and she's selling shirts and everything, and everyone loves to say the DMD and everything like that. And so I think it just takes a little time. Like I said, I give it 2 years, we're gonna be saying talking about a lot of these women. I mean, look at Jade. She's very new to wrestling. Even with Anna Jay hasn't wrestled for so long. I mean, she's still, I think, under 10 matches professionally that she had wrestled. So, I'm very patient with them because it's going to take time for these women to get better in the ring, get better all around as a wrestler, dealing with what's their wrestling style, who they are and things like that. Because with Anna Jay, before she joined the Dark Order, she was doing that magician gimmick that she was doing, and it wasn't working, and then suddenly she joins the Dark Order, she becomes number 99, and suddenly she's very popular. So that, I have patience with that because I feel as though, yeah, there's going to be botches and stuff like that because the women are still learning to know who they really are themselves. And I think once they have the confidence, once they know, because they have the creative freedom, so they have to figure out who they want to be, instead of, oh, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do this and cut this promo because someone told me. Now they're trying to define who they are as a person, who is Red Velvet, who is Jade, stuff like that. So I think in 2-3 years, I think AEW is going to have a great women's division.
Do you think AEW missed the opportunity to, spotlight on a few select women that are ready to go while they can develop on, at the time, maybe like a Britt Baker? Like they could have focused on Big Swole. I think she was ready to go promo-wise, wrestling-wise, she was ready to go too. Or even Sheeta when she was a champion, I wanted to know more about her story. I get it, yeah, she's a fighting champion, but all that time during the pandemic, I thought, to me, that was a missed opportunity of showcasing, of telling your audience, not just who's there to pay a ticket, but your audience that's watching TV, of who is your champion. If I could show that to a casual fan, they were like, all right, if I asked them who was the women's champion, they probably wouldn't even tell me.
I mean, they tried that route, but the thing is, when you have a lot of people that still mentally have the WWE mindset, they naturally do not give Jushin women wrestlers a chance. So it was kind of unfair. They did what they could, but at the same time, when you have people that still kind of, making either some type of derogatory thing to her or not even giving her a chance or not even putting Japanese wrestling they just, a stereotypical thing.
I think hardcore wrestling fans though are really they do give that a chance. For instance with Riho.
The men, yes, the men, but the women no.
Well, but
the men, yeah.
So the matchup with Riho where she won the championship, that crowd loved behind Riho.
Yeah.
They loved Riho.
I didn't see it. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And exactly. Me and Devin were here I don't know. Don't know if I'm sold, but at the same time, that crowd was 100% sold. And I think that there is a big segment of AEW's fan base that loves New Japan and just all of the wrestlers that come from there. And I just feel we have seen, even on the WWE side, I mean, not WWE, but NXT, where Io Shirai, they find ways with promo videos to just have her, even just speaking in her own language and then having her communicate, do promos against her opponents to where it's really selling the matchup still. I don't know. I feel like I hear what you're saying.
People like Michael Jackson of Japan, though. People know the famous ones, though.
Yeah. So, no, I feel you. I hear what you're saying, in general with that there are those barriers. There are those not everyone is gonna that will be a problem for some, but where I'm with Devin though is that there's, in my mind, if I'm booking AEW, right, and I'm looking at it, and I feel right now women's wrestling is there are people that want to see it because it just hasn't been showcased like this really ever in just the history of wrestling. It seems like this is the hot time right now for women's wrestling. Yeah.
There's a void right now.
Yeah. And so what I would be trying to do is take a couple, make a core, they have the 4 pillars with the men, take a core with the women too and say, hey, we're going to take the 4 most established, and really try to showcase them and have them kind of be the face of women's wrestling for us, as we build this. And everyone else that needs that time to develop a little bit more, they'll be on AEW Dark, they'll be on Elevation, they'll work on it there. But here on Dynamite, here on Rampage, the Ruby Sohos that come in ready, the Britt Bakers, who now everyone just loves her, just the character she is. Like, let's just build around them. The Sheetas, who wrestling wise, like, she just has it, right? So even you can go to like a Serena Deeb, who we know, like, she's established. Everyone looks to her as being like, a goat when it comes to women's wrestling. So take them.
They do it like, that's why some of them been wrestling like on Dark and Elevation, like Ruby Soho, or they'll ask Thunder Rosa, or they will ask like they'll ask them to, hey, wrestle these people on Dark so they can fix some
attention.
You laid out a great core, because I mean, we like the Serena Sheeta feud right now.
Yeah,
like they made a trophy. Say, here, Sheeta, take it, number 50. You got it.
Yeah.
And then the flip was brilliant. Like, I totally understand why Serena D was like, nah, I'm not with the funnies. Why am I number 50? Why do you have a trophy made already?
Right.
And so maybe it's a little
really,
and maybe post championship run, it's the first real feud for Sheeta that kind of gives you a little more. Well, she had the Nyla Rose run a little bit. Her and Nyla Rose had a thing.
They had
and and her and Emi Sakura, I forget which pay-per-view it was, but a little bit of story there of her being Emi Sakura's student. Outgrew
I remember that.
There's been flashes of personality traits for Sheeta, but I mean, this is a great side women's feud, Sheeta and Serena D. But you laid out a great core. Britt Baker, Serena D, Ruby. They got Chris Statlander. They got Thunder Rosa, Anna Jay, Taya Conti, Penelope Ford. They got a core there, but it took time to develop. I mean, we forget too. AEW is only 2 years old.
Yeah. You gotta be patient, because on top of that, it's just the connectivity too. I like Big Swole, but she's not connecting to the crowd. She's not connecting, and I like her, but it's like, who are you? Like, who are you in and out of the ring? And they gave her the opportunity when she went against Britt Baker. It didn't work out. People didn't connect to it. People gravitated to Britt Baker a little more.
Match too.
And I think that AEW is trying not to do what WWE does and feature the same women all the time, because that will get very tiring as well. As much as people like Britt Baker, we see she's not wrestling every single week. She's not, the main focus every single week. And that makes the fans miss her even more. So that when we do see her, it's like, oh, wow, there go Britt Baker, things like that. So I think what AEW is trying to do, while they don't have, I feel as though they don't have the luxury of the 4 pillars, because the division isn't solid just yet. They could do it with the men because they have the elite, they got other wrestlers that could play off of the 4 pillars. We had Miro and Sammy. We had, MJF in the Inner Circle. There's not a lot of the women's division isn't strong enough to create a 4 pillars of new women and then have, different feuds bouncing off of it, or even one feud, strong enough to really carry on from week to week, like we see with MJF and Chris Jericho, or with Darby Allin and even Cody for a little bit, or who else? Or Miro. So I think that right now what they're trying to do is they're trying to build up the women's division by, you got the Ruby Soho, you got Thunder Rosa, Serena, you got Britt Baker. However, they're trying to also build up Jade, and they're basically trying to build up this division so that it's strong enough to carry this TBS tournament that's coming. Because it feels like they don't want to have it as short as the Queen's Tournament. They really want to flesh this out and really showcase a lot of the women. And in order for that to really be solid, they have to bring in a lot of these new names, like Sky Blue. They're taking advantage of her popularity that she had in Chicago, and they're trying to carry it, the fact that Chicago loved her so much to kind of carry on into other cities. So I feel as though it's going to get there. It's just they're trying to build up that division as a whole. So it's not like it's nothing but these Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, and then it's like all these other women that's like constantly on Dark and Elevation and not getting, you know, that chance at the pay-per-view or on Dynamite as well.
Because I feel like once Kenny loses the belt, because you know Kenny is parts solely like creative for the women's division,
Right.
and I feel like once he drops the title and he's done, you know, he will take his break and then probably will be able to focus solely, because he said it before, like, you know, the TBS tournament is going to be the start of improving the women's division in AEW. Because he said it, so
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And even if you remember too, Britt Baker got hot when she was injured.
Yeah.
Like the promos got
promos
hot.
she was doing.
Happened on that Jericho cruise actually, like what was it? Not last year, but 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. So I mean, kind of like who else got? Randy Orton got hot when he was injured. So like you know, we talked about vignettes and promos and making the characters count. Like that's really where that carries her matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The personality of it all. Jade Cargill had week after week after week of vignette of, I don't even know her manager's name, but
him
that's
exactly.
all the time, right? That guy, that helped get her hot.
I mean, Ricky Starks too. It's funny the Rhodes reality show or whatever. They were showing the behind the scenes of them working with Ricky Starks when he was injured. They were like, "Hey, he's gonna have to stay relevant somehow, so let's just have him cut these promos." You know, and so that helped him. To your point, you know, of that, like sometimes it's just being creative with, you know, even through injuries.
With promos, some people you either got it or you don't.
Exactly.
You either
can't sound like you're reciting.
Right.
Can't sound like you're reciting.
Some people just know how to naturally do it, and some people just it's not for them. They need a manager or something.
That's where Britt for sure, like she stands out, you know, in this group as like the best at it right now. You know, like maybe there's someone else that, you know, we haven't really heard from that could do it. But just the fact right now is when you listen to her promos, I mean, it's just, she's got it. But everybody else, we don't really, like, I don't know, like, could, like, even, I mean, Ruby, I think probably would be the next closest person that I would trust to, you know, hey, let's put her on the mic and have her cut a promo. Like, I feel like she would cut a solid promo. But after that, but then after that, as far as promo work goes, like, we haven't really seen, you know, the, like, Tay Conti, you know, cut a promo like that, or Chris Statlander cut a promo, you know, I mean, a little bit with Thunder Rosa, you know, so maybe we'll see more of that now with her being like AEW official. You know, hopefully we get to see her cut more promos and be more interactions face to face with her opponents. But yeah, like Big Swole, like, you know, even in NXT it really didn't happen, you know, for her to really cut promos. So we don't know how good she could be. There was that one where I think it was where Britt Baker, where they went at it on the stage or something. They were cutting promos back and forth before that the dentist office match.
For
that promos. So, but yeah, we'll see. It's just, this is all coming from a place of like, you know, we just want to see more, just because we think like, I see the potential. I see it. I see it there for them, you know? Like, I think they do have talented women, very talented women there that, you know, yes, sometimes there are botches, but that happens too, you know, in WWE, you know, like it's never really going to be like perfect, but I get it. You know, like,
nah, man, red velvet botches is scary.
It is. That moonsault and everything.
That one. She did it again. I was like, Rip, you need to stop doing that move, because you stop scaring us, man. She landed on her neck wrong again.
Oh no. Oh man, it's scary. It's scary. I mean, even Jungle Boy, there was a move that he did a couple weeks ago over the top rope. He like tried to do a Hurricane Rana to, I forget who it was.
Evil Uno.
And
Yeah.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a clip from an old battle royal that I saw recently get into.
Well, there was I think it was a Rampage. It was the
Yeah, he did something recent. I know what you're talking
this is a
about.
recent one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that Jungle Boy he was so aggressive with it that I thought he didn't catch the right way. Like he was trying to, wrap his legs around the dude's head, but it looked like he didn't catch it. He was gonna fall straight on his back. But last second, he was able to catch, flip over, and land safer. And my heart dropped. Like I saw, I was like, oh no, we just lost Jungle Boy. Right there, like he's gonna be injured and all that momentum. But he was okay, and it's scary even for them, for even if you're seasoned. But I get it. You want to
Lance Archer.
Let him.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Oh, that was scary.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Almost cried.
Like, holy shit.
They said he walked
And then
out.
I seen the ref shaking his head. I'm like, this can't be good. And then as soon as he got in the ring, it was like an instant roll up. I was like,
They got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, thank God, because they lose you.
Right.
Man. So but we'll see. Time will tell. But TBS.
We gotta be patient,
awesome.
I think that's what they're always trying to tell us. Be patient. We like, no.
The seeds are planted. The seeds are planted. Roman Reigns, he didn't become tribal chief in a day.
Exactly.
That is true.
Exactly.
Is it true, Devin? I don't know. I can't remember anymore the way you talk about it.
Roman was not built in a day.
This way.
It wasn't.
Roman some time to get like that.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
It took a long time.
Yeah, that is true. I won't deny that.
Long time.
I was nowhere near the big dog.
Right?
No
one
is my
was.
yard now.
No one was.
There was that moment when he beat the Undertaker. He came back on Raw, and he had a little bit extra sauce.
Yeah, that
everybody
little
just all the chants. Fuck you, Roman. Fuck
They
you.
booed him.
And
All
He said it's my
that
yard.
shit. All you said. This is my yard now. Dropped him. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He even got me.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Something.
And then he
Yeah, something.
went right back. Oh, it's
Yeah.
bittersweet, I'm like, no. Own it.
And you can believe that.
You captain now,
Like,
I'm good, bro.
That babyface run is gonna be huge when he
You
turns
think?
babyface. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing.
He's already
Yeah.
killing in merch sales as a
Well,
heel. That's what's crazy.
Dylan. When he allows himself to be cheered, like let's say he loses his whole family because they like, Chief, you wild and Chief. He fights to get his family back. Oh, biggest babyface on the roster. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the thing is, he can't lose that swag about him. Like right now, he's that's kind of what makes him cool. Is like he'll look at the camera and mean mug and do the monologues. Like that's why I think honestly with Drew, where Drew went wrong is because Drew where me and Devin, epic Drew McIntyre, was those monologue ass whoopings that I used to do to like the members of the Shield, really, and everybody.
Destroyed the Shield.
Destroy him and tell him, fight for me, damn it. He doesn't do
Reach,
that
Roman,
anymore.
reach. He's right there. Reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
And now it's just
Yeah.
like, let me tell you a story. So,
Teddy bear. It doesn't match the look, and that was the problem with Roman the whole time. Roman doesn't look like an underdog, and they kept trying to book
He's a
him
star.
as if he's Daniel Bryan. It's like, no. He can
He's a
kick everybody's
superstar.
ass. Why are we
Right.
booking him like, oh man, can he actually beat Triple H? I don't know. It's like,
man.
no.
Yeah.
So it works today because the way he looks, like you look at him like a badass, like you tribal chief, it matches. And then with Drew McIntyre, it's the same thing. Like I don't look at him and like, oh, tell me a story, Drew McIntyre. Like, no, I don't. It's not how I'm feeling. It should have been the way he was when he came back.
Nah,
You know?
man. Soon as Drew do a story in front of the tribal chief, he's gonna fall asleep.
Can you imagine Brock Lesnar doing
get
a
that,
story?
Oh hell no! Yeah,
Trying to book Brock Lesnar as an
No.
underdog, it's not going to work.
No,
It's crazy that
nobody
Brock,
does.
as a face right now, he's even more like of a monster, which is insane.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Exactly.
It's still terrifying to me, man.
Your
Yeah,
face.
'cause he was throwing your tribal chief.
Yeah, right. Oh, took him to Suplex City.
He brought it back.
When it comes to the match, it's all about the result, and I already know what it is.
True. We didn't dig into that too much. We didn't dig in too much, but I like the slight story they told like within their matches. Like this Roman Reigns was a lot more poised. He wasn't WrestleMania 31 Roman Reigns who was happy to be there.
Yeah.
He wasn't 34 Roman Reigns who might be on the same level. This Roman Reigns truly believes he can beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was showing himself to be not the same guy. Like that, he grew. He is the tribal chief. He is the head of the table.
Yeah.
That's still Brock Lesnar.
True.
But Roman was like, nah, homie, like you've been gone. I got me some
running
teeth.
this.
I got me some new abs.
Yep.
This is me. I got this. You got some hair.
Table.
I've been had this hair. You just got your hair.
That shit is laid.
And it's crazy because Brock has that same because the way he was looking at him when they did the whole contract sign, it's like, boy, I've been in that same position as you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
you
Brock
just knew this.
Oh man, he was so entertaining. Like even just laughing, even during the match. You know, like anytime he laughs or smiles, man, I'm just looking at him and I'm just
having fun.
This dude is enjoying himself for real. Like I believe
fun out
he
there.
is like
killing
all the story away,
killing
enjoying
promos.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh man, and just Paul
He
Heyman.
stopped when he got to Cesaro, though.
He what?
I said he stopped when he got to Cesaro.
No,
I mean,
I
would too then. Cesaro.
Respect. Brock. Yeah, Brock's doing the thing. Paul Heyman is just on another level with just
he's an
his
Oscar
performance.
For the
Yes.
streets.
Just off the facial expressions.
Yeah, even on the entrance, I caught it on SmackDown. Even on the entrance, because usually he gives. It looks like we lost Kiki a little bit. He typically gives the tribal chief, the championship, and then but he never asked for the championship this time. This time he just did the we the ones, and so Paul Heyman's face changed. He was like, there we go. He was like, oh shit, like he didn't ask me for the championship. He's still pissed. Like I could read his facial expression. And I'm like, oh man, like Paul, something's gonna happen. He's gonna get it. And then right away he went just digging into Paul, like, oh, so now your job's you're doing your job good here. What about that crown jewel?
Last night.
Last night.
What's up with that?
Ask for something, give it to me.
Oh man,
Tribal Chief, who was feeling himself, going down the list of who he smashed. He was like Daniel Bryan, DB smashed.
Can't even
Cesaro smashed. I was dying crying when he talked about Brock, when he said, man, I beat Brock so bad I got him tweeting. I was like, I'm dead
now. This man is tweeting.
Right. Oh man,
that was good. That was good. Yeah, man, it's pure entertainment. That storyline, they've got something there. They've got something there. Will they continue it on? I don't know, but I don't know how long they're gonna go. But it's fun. It's fun to see everybody in their element there. I just wish, like Kiki, to your point, that we could see this outside of just that storyline, because it doesn't seem like any other storyline right now is just hitting all the right notes. There's some that Edge and Seth was the closest thing. That's done now, though.
Feud of the year, though.
What's that?
Feud of the year. Edge
to
and Seth.
what? Edge and Seth?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So far.
Yeah.
If you can do the Limp Bizkit song on their
My way.
My way, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yup. It is decided.
That's
I like that.
Yes.
That's funny. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything. I can't think of another feud that would fit in there. And maybe that speaks to my point of nothing just being memorable or hitting like that.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be a victim of like recent memory, because that feud was what? Right before SummerSlam? So SummerSlam to now? 2.5 months or so.
Yeah, nice feud. The way he told the
Yeah,
story.
I can't think of anything else.
I mean, Edge finishes off Seth doing his curb stomp. On
Yeah.
the chair.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
that's how y'all gonna end it.
Right.
What we're really thinking.
You really don't even see that too much. Somebody actually beats somebody with their finisher. They'll
own,
do it, but they usually kick out.
Kick out.
But
Right.
yeah,
Kick
this
out.
one, from the beat 'em, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah,
That is a good question.
I can't think of any other feuds.
I'm trying to think of something. I'm like, what else is it?
I mean, if Sasha didn't miss SummerSlam and they could have continued their feud, that could have been, because of just what that meant to so many people. You know, like I was hyped for that matchup, and then it was just like, we're not gonna get it. You know,
and then she rock bottom her and won. I was mad. I didn't even want to watch SummerSlam no more.
At 25% power, as my co-host has put it.
25% power. Rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
I was like, what? Really?
I want to turn it off.
I was
Same here.
Is Becky Lynch like the Rock Light? I mean, she got the sunglasses. She kind of talking a certain way.
That's what it feels like. Are they trying to make her like the female version of Seth Rollins on top of that?
They were dressing them like dressing similar.
They sure do be dressing.
Yeah. How long do you think before they like finally let them interact? Do you think it happens with them both being healed?
It's gonna happen, but
when they decide to do a mixed tag. I mean, that was the last time they had them interact was when they needed them to do the mixed tag. When it came out that they were engaged and they wanted to, take advantage of that popularity since it hit mainstream news and everything. So it's whenever they get, whenever.
Did y'all see Seth talk about that on Broken Skull? With Steve Austin.
I never finished that interview.
He didn't dig in too far, but he kind of Loki was like, "No, that shit was trash." Loki don't ever do that shit again.
Don't ever do that.
No, please.
Yeah, it was very cringy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't
It
want to
felt
do
forced. Yeah, it felt
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah,
Felt very
I feel
forced.
like the only couple that should be any kind of highlighted and it feels real and natural is Bianca and Montez.
Yeah.
Like a year from now, Montez. 2 years from now, a year from now, he's already rising up.
Yeah,
he'll get him a little secondary title reign, but give it 2 to 3 years, Montez.
They're gonna split them up.
Yeah,
Street
Profits.
I just need him to stop doing the 5-star frog splash.
Oh, he got the best frogs.
Oh, he can't stop.
No, he don't.
Stop doing the
That's
frogs.
his.
No, that's amazing.
his. He got that shit.
That's
No, he do not.
I need
He gets tight, but
I need Sasha Banks to stop.
Yeah.
His is decent, but
The only one that's close is Ray Phoenix. He the only one that's close to it.
yeah.
I'll give Leo Rush a shout out.
Yeah.
His frog.
Montez is. No one
Montez.
gets the elevation.
He too long.
And then sometimes he want to turn in the air with it too.
He too
hang
long.
time with it. 180.
He too high and he too long.
Oh,
You
man.
can't be too high. You can't.
Can't get too high.
He be way-
Can't get too high.
You can't be too high.
That's like Dante Martin. Dante Martin be high too.
You do.
I want to see how that's gonna go. I'm
Him
a
and
Leo
Leo?
Rush mark. Yeah, like when he was the Joker for the Battle Royal. Like I'm 33, and I was like, oh! I popped for Leo Rush. Then when he signed, I was like, oh, let's get it. Now I don't know the difference between his gimmick and Matt Hardy's gimmick because they both are Big Money Matt, LBO Leo.
Good
Fine,
point.
whatever.
That's a good point.
But
sir.
they're the same guy. Same guy. Let's see what the difference is.
That is a fair assessment right there.
Listen, I want to see what Leo does. The Leo family office.
Somebody's got to change. They got to have a match. Loser
Right.
changes their gimmick.
What y'all think about Hit Row being in SmackDown so far?
I think it's too soon for B5. Way too soon when I saw
think
her
so
2.0.
too.
Because I was just wondering, okay, let's see what she got. I was like, ooh, she only got rock. Yeah, I'm like,
It's too early.
Nowhere near ready.
She is fresh out of school.
So I think she's gonna be probably running that valet spot for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
You think Swerve gets? I mean, it started around Swerve. Do you think he'll be spotlighted?
No.
I think they're gonna have the tag team. I think they're gonna keep him as a tag team with Top Dollar. Yeah.
Top Dollar.
That's what I was
Eventually down the
saying.
road. Yeah.
I seen a dirt sheet say that. Of sources was saying that they're gonna make Top Dollar and Swerve like a tag team, and then I don't know about the other guy.
Yeah, Adonis.
Shanti.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Shanti, the Adonis.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question. Around him, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, he might be in the same boat as B Fab as far as just being, a valet for them, really. But they're gonna put the spotlight, it feels like, on Top Dollar and Swerve. Like just those. I mean, they are the two best wrestlers. It does kind of make sense, but I kind of liked Adonis and Top Dollar together, and then have Swerve be like, okay, I'm gonna go the singles route.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going another way.
When he was seemed like he was more at the helm. For him,
Yeah.
Right, he's the leader, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
like
on SmackDown on the main roster, I think they're gonna go Top Dollar. I think he's gonna look like.
I think so too.
Oh, you elevate him? He's gonna be Suge Knight, basically.
He
Yeah,
gonna
just to jab at my books.
Yeah, that's why
It's
I feel
just a
like
jab at my books. That's what they gonna do.
that's what I feel like they're gonna do. It feels like there's not a lot of tag teams on the main roster anyway. So I feel like Hit Row is just going to be, in the tag team division until they decide not to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they almost split the Street Profits from what Streets is saying.
I think it's gonna happen next draft. Next draft is gonna happen.
They on the clock.
Yeah.
They on the clock. Listen, man, Dawkins better step it up. I like Dawkins, but man,
you better get some more mic time.
It feels like
a star on his own. Plus, he has his wife, who is a star on her own.
Who his wife?
Bianca Belair.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other guy.
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, I want the best for everybody involved. I hope nobody turns on nobody. Because that would break my heart.
Don't do that.
You're asking for a lot right there, sir. You're asking for a lot.
I know. I just
come on, man.
It break my heart.
And you know who's gonna turn on? Come on.
Oh, Ford gonna turn.
Yeah.
You think we'll see that? No.
Oh man.
You think Dawkins would turn?
I think it'll be Dawkins.
You think Dawkins would turn? I think that would just give him like a little bit of life.
Because they like using the fact that Montez Ford is funny. When they first brought up the Street Profits and they had them like introducing and talking about matches and stuff like that, it was mainly Montez Ford that was mainly talking, where Dawkins was like, yeah, dog, yeah. It was mainly Montez Ford that was doing most of the talking. So I think they're going to continue on with that, and it'll be Dawkins that'll turn.
I could see Dawkins turning if he was like, listen, man, everybody thinks you the star, but I'm the star out here. I got you before you got me type.
Yeah.
But either way.
You don't even have to do that. They turn people because it's Wednesday.
You better have a plan.
Yeah.
You know who is a star that they need to push though? Gable.
Yeah.
They need
a shame.
It's not gonna happen.
That man is possible of being their next Kurt Angle. I'm telling you.
No, you're right. You're right, but
they already got him. The other Gable.
Oh yeah, that guy is gonna be WWE champion.
That's the new
Kurt. We got our Gable. We got our real
Gable. The other Gable.
Right or wrong,
I like the
other
one
that they're gonna push.
He better go back to Shorty G once Gable Stevenson gets back on television.
Please, no. Oh my God.
Arm sleeves and
Shorty G.
He's on Nick Khan's list, man. Like if he don't show something, that dude.
Budget cuts.
Yep, that's what I feel. That's what I feel might be coming for him. It sucks, but yeah,
budget cuts are coming. Yeah.
What happened to Otis? Like Otis was.
I mean, he was just on Raw. He was a part of the.
Well, meaning like Tucker turned on him, and Otis was Money in the Bank. And he won me over. Like I was not out. Listen, my tag partner Ren loved him some Otis. I wasn't feeling Otis. And then Otis won me over. I'm like, all right, okay, Otis. But then he lost the briefcase to Miz, and now he just kind of,
they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know. I think it was like a change of plans to give him the Money in the Bank. And then even then they were like, oh shit, he's actually Money in the Bank. Are we gonna really do this? Like,
right.
And then they just kind of let it linger. And now, then they just say, hey,
it was that movie, right? That Money in the Bank movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah. The building, on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio fell
the
off
music.
the side.
Right. Yeah. Corbin killed Rey Mysterio and Alistair Black. What was the Alistair Black at the time? He got Alistair Black
Threw him off
And
the
got Rey
building.
Mysterio.
Yep.
Yo.
Luckily, they fell on the ledge.
Right.
Chris
Right.
Jericho did not work hard for them to do that briefcase like that.
Yo, I gotta ask because you mentioned Aleister Black. So, what's up with the Cody hate?
Listen,
Uh-oh.
I didn't know Florida was gonna boo that man like that. That shocked me. I was watching it. I'm like, they booing Cody for real.
Yeah.
Like, booing
I'm
him.
not surprised.
I don't
know
Exactly.
why.
I'm Will
I don't know
Fees.
why.
I'm not surprised.
He had this
Why?
coming, bro.
Well, why?
He had. He
But he
came
said
out.
he'll never turn heel though, because of
He-
his daughter. I'm
Nah,
like,
he is not. He is not John Cena. He is not John Cena.
I'm like,
He
you
not
maybe
Triple
not
H.
gonna remember.
That Triple
No.
H stuff do not work in this
But
current
why the
age of
hell?
time. We
It
don't want to
does
see it
not.
no more.
Mm.
You not
doesn't.
Triple H, Cody.
Listen, man, Cody Rhodes came out here. Yeah, he's Dusty's son. Yeah, he's one of the face of the company. He put over Darby Allin huge.
Yeah.
He tried to get QT over, but
Come on, bro.
Nobody
Yeah,
cares
no,
about
QT.
him.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Listen, I said he tried.
That
He
was
tried.
that was
He tried.
Cody's nepotism
Tried.
right
But
there
that's part of
in
the
full
problem, too.
effect.
Like,
Yeah.
we're spending time on him. Like, really?
I mean, listen, he
No.
put over Darby huge. He gave Brody Lee a great look with the TNT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think
But
the
then
hate
Lance
is
Archer,
overblown.
that was like him beating Lance Archer for the TNT
Yeah, I ain't like that.
championship. Like,
Yeah.
nah, Lance
I ain't
Archer
like
should have been the TNT champion. Now, he should have been the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just too much. Like Cody, he's the only one that gets that center entrance, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of
All the
symbolic.
pyro.
And it's not gonna work.
6% of the budget is for Cody's pyro.
And that's not gonna work. If
It's not.
the lead demos is from 18 to 49, that is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because
What you
we
think about,
we don't want to see it no more.
I'm not mad.
Right.
Well, you know what? Cody's smart because I see what he's doing with this reality show. He's trying to get sympathy.
It's not
It's-
working.
It didn't work. It's
It's not gonna work. I know it's not
Everybody
working, but because I see
Everybody-
because it's reality TV now. We know it's scripted reality TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, man.
Baby, that's still
Sad
not
music
working.
and happy music and all that shit, like cutscene,
The season finale
confession
was
room and all that. Come on.
Turn
The
heel.
season finale was
Turn
him
heel.
talking about him getting booed. That still didn't work. They still booed him
Right.
again.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand why I'm getting booed.
Yeah.
The reality show made everyone hate Cody more.
They probably didn't.
Right.
It's
They
the
probably
reality
didn't.
show put over the backstage talent. It put over Ricky Starks even
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I
Cody's
watched
really
it.
full of himself.
I watched it and it just like it felt scripted. It felt like it wasn't even authentic. I'm like it feels like y'all just trying to pull drama out of
Jade-
nothing.
The
Jade
Jade and
Red
Red
Velvet,
Velvet, that was some bullshit, bro.
They were
Yeah.
sitting there drinking wine.
That
and
felt so fabricated right there. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on.
Shading here.
That was
Shady.
a little
Scripted reality.
Now that was real though, because Jay did actually hit her.
She
Well,
did, yeah.
He
That
did.
moment was real. But
Yeah.
then the way that they
When-
tried to squash it by having
Oh.
them like, let's do this
Right.
wine thing, tasting.
Won't you
and-
come
Tea
to
and-
my
tea and
wine
biscuits,
tasting
you
for
know.
my wedding? I'm like, girl, you don't have sisters or friends or something? What are you bringing in your employees
Oh,
for?
man.
I'm like, this
Oh,
feel like
man.
Love and Hip Hop all over again.
Man.
It's just like,
There we go. You
Like
said it.
that's all that reality show did was make people hate Cody more. Because
Oh,
like you,
Exactly.
you're not sticking up for your wife with your sister. Like
Oh,
you a heel.
You a
You're real.
Your reality show
Embrace
made
it,
you a
Cody.
heel.
Accept it.
Oh man.
dye her
Why
black,
you fighting it, bro?
dye her black, and go back in.
Yeah.
Dyed her hair
Exactly.
black.
Go back.
Oh
Your
man.
pregnant wife is asking you for help. You sitting there just like, texting and everything.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
We saw Tony Khan reaction when he did the promo. He ain't like it either.
Yeah.
What a time.
Hey man.
I was like, that was probably at that moment. He was like, you know what? I'm about to take full control because y'all don't know what y'all do.
Give me that.
did it right.
I'm
Y'all
sick
do
of
what you do. I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah, that's probably that was because he did
This ain't
decide
about
to
to be
take full control.
WCW. We're about to be
that,
booking
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. Which was, I'm glad he did that because Young Bucks ain't know what they was doing, but Kenny knew what he was doing with the gaming part. But that's about it.
Yeah.
But as far as what Young Bucks and Cody, they didn't know what they were doing. Like,
That game is gonna be good, ain't it? That game will be
Yes.
Yeah,
It's gonna be really
I'm excited
good.
for that game. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Seem like
TV
they putting a
gamers.
lot of love into that game, so
Yeah.
take their time. Let us-
Because they're gamers. It's 'cause
Yeah,
they're
Exactly.
gamers.
That's over. Yeah.
He's not in it for the. He's not really in it for the money. He's in it because he wants to really create a wrestling game that Look
Hey,
at
he
look at
wants to
2K.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
they had to take a year off.
Well, he said
What
I'm
they put
tired of
out
the
last
glitching.
time.
That broke
Yeah,
ass
man.
shit. Oh my god.
Yeah,
He
that
said
was.
I'm tired of the
That was
glitching.
rough. That was
Yeah.
rough.
Exactly.
That's too much glitching.
Yeah, but to take it back to like THQ and Ukes and do the
Mhm.
like No Mercy style,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
holy
yeah, yeah.
shit, like that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because just the goodwill that everybody has for those games,
Toward that game. Yeah.
WrestleMania
Yep.
2000 and all that. Like you're telling me you're trying to use elements of that and bring that back to the modern and polish it a little bit. Oh, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm
so
there.
Mhm.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm glad he took full control. I was like, that's probably at that moment he was like, you know what? I'm tired of people saying that they got a good promo and they ain't run it by me, and now they out there looking because that promo was trash.
Oh
That
man.
It was.
It was this like read the room. He didn't read the room. Like
No.
Bro,
No.
look at the times we in, bro. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Brandy crying because she pregnant, so of course she
Oh,
gonna
man.
cry.
Exactly.
The emotion. So of course she probably ain't hear nothing else but the daughter. That's it. And she started crying.
Have a,
Black
have a little black.
Tony Khan was
Little
looking
white
like,
daughter.
what the Tony Khan was looking like, what is he talking about?
Somebody cut his mic.
Yo.
For real.
Oh
And they
my
messed
God.
up. He messed up a go-go's. Like that's
I hated that. That was like my turnoff right there.
That was
And the
that
weigh-in.
was me too.
mhm.
Yeah, that whole thing was just bad. It was
He
just
tried.
He
I
tried.
didn't see the vision with a go-go. I mean, I figured he was, he was trying to get him over, but I mean, a go-go wasn't really ready like that. We ain't seen him since.
Yeah.
We ain't seen him
Yeah.
since. I mean, he if he was ready to be in the ring like that, we'd at least have seen him since then.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't that. It was the whole promo, like the day before it, the whole scaling thing.
The weigh-in was ugly.
Cody messed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He said
The
he
weigh-in
messed that
was
whole
ugly.
thing up.
Yeah, it wasn't like the scale didn't work right or something.
Yeah.
And
You
Paul
heard
White
Tony-
couldn't get the cues from.
You hear Tony talking about hurry up and wrap this shit up now.
Yeah.
Hey, let me
not
ask
working.
y'all. Let me
Wrap this
ask
shit
y'all
up.
this.
Yeah.
What do y'all think of AEW trying to infuse this UFC style?
No.
I mean, it's kind of what
Yeah.
WWE had did too. I mean, they was bringing
With
in
Shamrock?
with Shamrock and
Yeah.
all them. They were bringing in. They brought in Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather. Even if you go even further back, they brought in NFL players. So it's like
It
it
can
is
work.
what it is. It could work. It could work. I mean, we've seen people from UFC come over and from sports and stuff like that, and they made it work. So I say try it, see if it works with the way AEW does things. You see if it works. If it doesn't work, they'll stop it.
Mhm.
They won't jam it down our throats and say deal with it.
But are we talking about just because like American Top Team, being a part of
Mhm.
things? But are we talking about just having UFC fighters become wrestlers, or are we talking about actually implementing the like MMA style into? Because they tried that in that match. Who was it? Where they did like an
Wardlow,
octagon.
and
Yeah, the octagon.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that because that feels like Raw Underground to me. If you're gonna try to
Yeah.
tell me,
But Raw
Yeah.
Underground was not bad.
no,
Oh, that was
It wasn't
bad.
bad.
That was bad. I didn't like it. That was scripted
It's
MMA.
like-
I was like,
I will just watch.
You don't like
UFC if I
MMA?
wanna see that. I love MMA, but
I
that's
don't
the
like
problem.
scripted MMA.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
just know, like, it's just not. I love UFC. I watch UFC all the time. Bellator, like all sorts of MMA, and it's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. It's just different. Wrestling and MMA, you can bring a Ken Shamrock in and have him adapt to the wrestling style, but
Yeah.
to try to do this scripted thing where when I watch MMA, I know, hey, this dude could really get knocked out, and this is part of it. In WWE or in wrestling, you're trying to pull your punches. You don't want to hurt them, so I can't make myself believe that it's real and accept it when I know the game. I know what's going on. It's like the anxiety that I feel watching MMA, I will never have that watching it in AEW or in WWE whenever they try to do stuff like that. So it's just, I don't know.
Boxing turning into pro wrestling.
What's that?
I said boxing turning into pro wrestling nowadays.
That's true, yeah, with the Wilder and all that, the pageantry and that. Yeah,
cutting
that's
promos
true.
in the middle of the waiting and stuff.
That's true. But that part, like the way that you try to sell us on, hey, watch this pay-per-view, or the pageantry, like the entrances, that works in other, sports. But to try to implement, like when they did the boxing thing in WWE and they tried to have them actually do boxing, it was like, wait, what? What are y'all doing?
Brawl for all.
Brawl for all. Yeah,
I remember that.
Really?
I remember that.
Epic failure.
Do that. Yeah. We love wrestling. Like, just stick to that, And but to try to do these gimmick things, and I don't know. I feel like just keep that separate. But yeah, if you want to bring in, MMA fighters, have them, Jorge Masvidal. If he wanted to become, a WWE, not WWE, AEW wrestler, sure, do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it, because he's got that popularity. He's got that mainstream appeal. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you want to have a name like that come in? So yeah.
I feel as though they just trying everything
for long anyway.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in 2 weeks, so I don't know if it was like a temporary thing or not.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be around that long. I mean, it's a great showcase for Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, especially those who want to see Scorpio Sky a lot more. And Dan Lambert got bars, man.
Dan Lambert
got bars.
He will take it there.
Yes,
he will take it there.
He got bars, man.
Yeah.
And that's something Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page might be lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
And while they develop that, I mean, clearly they can go in the ring. So yeah, I don't. Who was it? Paige Van Zandt. You said Jorge Masvidal. Yeah, I don't see them sticking around long.
Yeah.
How long this deal is, but yeah, great spotlight. Something for the Inner Circle to do. Some spotlight Scorpio Sky. Dan Lambert will carry the microphone.
Because that's what Chris Jericho did say. Because it was supposed to be like for Ethan Page, and he was like, no, this is for Scorpio. We got to do this for Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, I like that.
Great look. It's a great look.
He deserves that.
Yeah, he does.
He needs
he definitely does.
Grabbing that brass ring. Be rewarded.
I think it'd just be a nice feud for the Inner Circle to do before we get the Inner Circle versus the Elite. I think that's something we need to see. The Inner Circle and the Elite to start off 2022.
Just
I actually don't think we'll ever get that.
We're not getting that.
I don't think we'll ever get that. It's
going to be the Bullet Club Civil War. We're getting the Bullet Club Civil War.
Yeah,
we're getting that Bullet Club Civil War.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think the Inner Circle is just kind of going to do their own thing. When they talked about breaking it up. Jericho actually talked about he wanted to break it up. But then I think he got talked out of it. I don't know if it was Tony Khan or whoever it was, but I feel like now the plan seems to be, hey, let's let these guys kind of build themselves. Sammy kind of do his own thing. Hager with Jericho. Proud and Powerful, get in the tag team division. Have them kind of like establish themselves separately, and then quietly, like, I think that'll just be it. Like, they'll just kind of be their own things, and maybe once in a while, hey, it'd be cool to do this reunion thing. Let's just go ahead and do a match. But I don't know that we'll ever get them versus the Elite. And I mean, honestly, the Elite might implode too. With Adam Cole.
I'll see that eventually. I'll see it eventually. He'll strike out eventually.
Yeah.
I think that's a great story that you could have to even lead to the implosion of the Elite.
Because Kenny kicked out like a few of the Bullet Club members, so they can make a story with it.
Yeah.
What he kicked out? He kicked out Adam Cole. Then he kicked Adam Cole out.
Yeah.
He followed through the promise. He followed through. Take notes.
Right.
He kicked out AJ Styles. He kicked out Finn.
Yep.
Kenny was kicking him out.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that Civil War first.
I would love to see that.
It's hard to see Adam Cole staying in a group, especially how he left NXT as the man. But kind of like how I see Finn. Like I see Finn going toward a heel turn. I think we're gonna get an idea of a little bit more of NXT Finn. But we had to reestablish who Finn was to Raw and SmackDown before we can take that route. So let's do the Demon. I hated that they brought out the Demon, but let's reestablish him real quick. The Demon, God snapped the ropes, put him on Raw. he's Prince because he can't be king. And now he just snapped. Like, listen, your boy took the kingship away from me, so you got to get these bars, Big E. And so I kind of see that with Adam Cole. Like, yeah, those are his boys, but then there's a story to be told once we establish how close they are. That like Adam Cole maybe just isn't meant to just fit in the group anymore. So.
I do like the feud with him and Jungle Boy. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that piques my interest. I'm digging it.
It is. I love it.
It's something I didn't think I wanted, but I like it. So.
Seeing it, I'm there.
I like that. I would say about AEW, I think they're doing a misstep for CM Punk.
Really?
I feel like they cooled down his stock right now.
I think he wanted that himself.
That's what he wanted.
Is that okay?
I think it's because what really made CM Punk so special is because it was the whole anti-WWE thing that he was doing back in the day. And now he's with AEW. He's in a very happy place. So it's like you can't really cut promos of being anti of something if you're like happy where you are and you're in a good place and there's like really nothing to really complain about. So I feel as though the way he is right now, that, you know, he's there to help to put over the younger talent and to kind of like see if he could still go. Yeah. Unfortunately, everybody still want that, you know, pipe bomb, CM Punk, stuff like that, but it doesn't really fit where he is now. He's in a happy place. He can't. There's nothing really to complain about.
Putting over younger talent. I'm cool about CM Punk doing that. But him and possibly with a feud with Bobby Fish, I'm turned off from that.
Really?
Why?
Yeah,
Bobby Fish isn't like charismatic. He was definitely like the fourth guy of the.
He was.
I was really never into Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
He's in the ring.
NXT.
He can go.
He
and
can
he
go.
could lead CM Punk in a match when CM Punk is wrestling. I mean, the appeal of CM Punk was that CM Punk was gone, right? And so now that he's back, we don't necessarily got to jump into all of the epic feuds,
right?
Bobby Fish and Sammy too. That was good. Like I actually really was like, damn, Bobby. Like, I think a part of it, honestly, was he was just injured so much. He was never healthy. You know.
Yeah, he's injury prone.
Wasn't even a part of the breakup. Yeah,
so I feel like
the breakup.
It was an eye opener for me seeing that match with Sammy. I'm like, damn, you know what? Like this dude, he still has something to give. So, and I think maybe CM Punk, you know, honestly, maybe sees that too, and he's like, "Yo, I wanna have a match with this guy because he's probably one of these guys that doesn't get enough respect for what he could do, and people regard him as like the fourth best wrestler in Undisputed, which you know is not wrong, but that shouldn't be seen as a negative. You know, like he's great. They were all great, and he's also, you know, a strong wrestler in his own right. And let's try to showcase that a little bit.
He's here for a reason.
Yeah. Now, I think in terms of CM Punk cooling overall, you know, at first I was like, man, what? But I can kind of feel that in general, not because of Bobby Fish and that feud, but just in general. Like, I wonder if because I think CM Punk, he teased it a little bit that, you know, what did he say? He said something about, you know, I hope you guys aren't tired of me yet. You know, and that maybe, you know, he's foreseeing at some point this love fest isn't what it is. And, you know, then he also said something about, hey, I know that some people want to see the certain side of me, you know, that you saw before. He said, be careful what you wish for. Like, I could see eventually when it starts to cool and like maybe somebody else he's facing gets more cheers than he does, that CM Punk takes that opportunity to go heel. And then we start to see the CM Punk that maybe everybody wants, right? That cuts promos and digs into people, in the way that we do. So
there's so much juice left in his
I think so.
Welcome Back tour.
Yeah.
There's so much juice left. There's so many, and plus that roster's so huge, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna get cheered for doing that anyway, though. Nobody ain't gonna boo.
Yeah,
right. I mean, but depends on who he turns against, right? Because I know he's talking about like a dream match for him would be him and Bryan Danielson versus the Lucha Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe we get that tag team, and then maybe CM Punk is like, "Nigga, you came in, I had all the juice, and then you came in, took my juice. I want my juice back."
Had that Kenny Omega's 5-star matchup.
Right, you came in having 30-minute classics.
Come on, man.
In your first match in. Yeah, I fucks with Darby Allin, but listen, I don't really fucks with Powerhouse Hobbs. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think there's a lot of juice in the return, just the fan from him coming back, and then we can dig in and get back.
I think we'll get
some of that.
That's a fair point.
Well, yeah, I think that also it's the fact that he hasn't wrestled in seven years, and so now he's doing these low profile matches to try to get used to being in the ring and stuff like that. Because it shows a little bit in his ring work.
Yeah.
He's not as fast as he used to be. I think once he's able to like really get settled in, I think that's when we'll really start seeing the feuds coming along, and we'll see him, really cut promos and here and there. And like you said, once he comes across that one person that he's really feuding with, and he decides to turn anti-hero and really start cutting the promo. Like, it could be, with MJF. It could be MJF.
MJF.
That's gonna be crazy.
It is.
That's gonna be crazy.
I think once he leads up to that, I know that's gonna be an amazing. I will gladly see. Them sit down in the middle of the ring,
that's all
just
I need.
Cutting promo back to back like they did with Jericho.
I know.
I think that's what it is.
Waiting.
Oh, he is
waiting. Yeah,
he is waiting for it. That's what I think it is.
Bust out the notepad for this one.
He's just knocking off the rust. Yeah.
Like, until then, let's just make these make the small indie wrestlers' dream come true and just wrestle CM Punk and build them up. That's all he's doing.
And that's the thing with CM Punk, right? They're low profile matches, but they're high profile because CM Punk is in them.
Yeah.
So it's like, Hobbs gets a look.
CM Punk.
Yeah.
Matt Sydal gets a look. Darby Allin got the hugest look because he was his first match in 7 years. Bobby Fish gets a look. So even if it's a low profile match, CM Punk is in it, which makes
it's
Darby broke when he said that he wanted to fight him.
He did.
They're broke.
He did.
Man,
which is good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think he don't want the spotlight to kind of really be on him. Kind of like he's putting over the younger talent while not really putting the spotlight mainly on him. Plus, the appeal of CM Punk until he returned was the fact that he was gone, and it was like, when is he going to return? When is he not going to return? So CM Punk's probably thinking, once he's back and he's wrestling again, that he would kind of like fall off to the side once the fans, start tagging along to whoever is, the newest thing coming. So
how loud was it, Devin? You was there.
In my section, it was stupid loud. I was yelling. My daughter was yelling. I was yelling because I haven't seen him since 2014 at a house show. Yeah, and it was in Hammond, Indiana. As a matter of fact, I think he was going against Big Show. I think. But literally like 10 feet away from him. But I didn't know that'd be the last time I see him. But to see him again, 7 years later, and the first thing they do is pop up the music. It was crowd go
crazy.
Nuts. I went nuts
like 6 times.
Man.
Crazy.
We standing up the whole time as he's just talking, even doing a commercial break. I couldn't stop recording. I'm like, oh, this is a great moment. And we see Darby up there. I'm like, oh shit, what is going on? And it was crazy.
It was great.
I was standing up in my lid. I'm like, he really there.
This is really happening.
It's tripping.
Yeah.
Like when
I so texted you, Dev, at like 1 a.m. Like, listen, I know it's late. Yeah. This is amazing.
Hey, I don't mind, bro. It was cool. It was because it was sweet too, man. We get up there, United Center, right? We have, my man from security hooked me up, so we had like front row parking right up there, and get in. and sense the love from everybody. You know, no, I thought I would get maybe ruffle some feathers because I'm with this shirt. It's hostile territory, but it was cool, man. Everybody loved wrestling. Cool. Little kids were saying you gotta acknowledge him, whispering to his buddy. I was like, oh, this is cool. They're having fun with it. So yeah, man.
Because at the end of the day, Tony Khan is a wrestling fan, so stuff like that.
Yes.
And I like the fact that he acknowledged there's other companies. Because when they were in Philly, there was someone in the front row with a WWE title, and they kept showing him on TV. So I thought it was, they acknowledged the fact, there's other companies. We're not the only company here. So
I love that.
I dare you go to Extreme Rules with an AEW shirt.
Oh shit, hell no! They'd be like, "Yo, here's a Roman Reigns t-shirt. Go ahead and throw that on real quick." Because
hey, fam, let me holler at you.
Or you gotta go.
You gotta turn around.
With that Adam Page merch.
Right. What do y'all think about? Because I know Tony Khan's getting a lot of hell online for like being so vocal about WWE and talking about WWE. People are like, why are you talking so much about them? Like, what do y'all think about him being vocal about the other company?
He's just having fun.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I would do the same thing. Because I mentioned on my podcast, like when he was minding his own business with AEW Rampage, and here comes WWE. Oh, we gonna do 30 minutes commercial free and Super SmackDown, all this other stuff. I get hyped too. I'm like, okay, y'all trying to start something. Let's go. So, and the fact that in that 30 minutes, like the same amount of people that watched the Tribal Chief watched the Rudy Soho match, and the fact that they like, I know if people are like not believing the numbers, but if the numbers is true that they actually beat them in that 30 minutes, I'd be all over social media too. I'd be like, hey guys, we beat WWE for 30 minutes. It's like, it's AEW's only. I know, with the bunny. Acknowledge the bunny,
That's funny.
It's like, you got to think about it. AEW is only 2 years old, and it's like toe to toe with a company that's been in the game for 30 years. Like, it could have done, like we had this before with TNA, with other promotions that's trying to, make a name for themselves. But the fact that we got this second company that came up and is, even with the Wednesday Night Wars, is doing, close to as much as WWE does. It's a great thing because look what's going on. WWE put out their pay-per-view schedule for next year, and they got Saturday pay-per-views now. We don't have to worry about, having to miss the main event because they done went midnight and we got to get up at 5 in the morning the next day.
Pro wrestling ain't been fun in a long time, and this is like the first time it's been fun all around. Like,
exactly.
It's been boring and corporate, and now it's back fun.
They're working for us now. Like I said, Friday was a lot of fun. I had both shows on. I was like, okay, guys, who wants my attention? We hadn't had that. We hadn't had that in a very long time. And the fact that with AEW doing well on Friday and was doing well on Wednesday, that we got WWE turn around and say, oh, we're going to do 30 minutes. And they gave us Becky and Sasha commercial free. When would they ever have done that? When would they have ever had gave us Sasha and Becky for like a good 20 minutes commercial free? It's something that we would have never have gotten. We would have never have gotten a Saturday pay-per-view like that unless it was NXT TakeOver. And then I'm more excited for Labor Day weekend next year because it looks like we're going to have WWE and AEW going head to head. We're going to have one pay-per-view one night, the other pay-per-view the other night. So it's like,
that's awesome.
I can't wait for that.
Vince on his toes is the best Vince. I love when Vince is on. Petty Vince is the best Vince. That's the best. Because he ain't never have to worry about nobody. He ain't have to worry about Impact. Impact still putting their foot in their own mouth still. Like they.
So I gotta be real about the ratings. When people bring up the ratings, I might burst some people's bubbles. I might burst some people's bubbles. All right, I get it. You know, Tony Khan, he wants to toot his own horn. He won 30 minutes head to head. All right, first quarter in a 4-quarter game. Congratulations, bro. You know,
it's a win, though, man.
It is. You got to think about it.
He's like the whole show.
If your company, look, if I beat WWE for 5 minutes, I will have it trending.
WWE, come on, man. That's
like
big.
Nobody has come close since WCW, and they took WCW out. Like we didn't have anything else. We had to go through the PG era. We had to go through Cena, LOL. We had to go through the good guy, bad guy, the guy, Roman Reigns era. So it's like now. Yeah, we did. They tried, but it's like we hadn't had anything that like really stuck around. It feels like AEW is going to be around for a very long time. The way that things are going, and it's like. I feel as though the ratings is more for when they try to get their next TV deal and everything. But, you know, if he wants to toot the horn, I say toot the horn. Like, piss off Vince. Vince gonna come out with a full Attitude Era type pay-per-view in a second. Like,
WrestleMania the same day as Double or Nothing.
I give kudos to Tony Khan, though, because Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff got this little beef going.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan basically was like, but I'm not learning from you. I'm learning from the one who bought you.
Ooh. Yeah, Eric. I listened to Eric's last podcast. I guess what really pissed him off was that Tony Khan said that if Ted Turner knew 1% of what Tony Khan knows about pro wrestling, then WCW would still be in business. And that pissed Eric Bischoff off.
But I mean, he's talking about Ted Turner, though, right? He's saying if Ted Turner knew,
he's not wrong.
I mean, I don't think he's wrong in that. Ted Turner doesn't really know anything about wrestling.
He's not wrong.
Can we
and he didn't care about it.
Ted Turner, Bischoff was really the one that was. It was when Bischoff was, making, the moves to try to compete with Raw and everything that WCW really blew up. For me at least, as a fan, I was watching both, but WCW really, I would give more credit to Bischoff than I would Ted Turner. Ted Turner he's a businessman. He just wants, to dabble in this because he feels like there's some money to get. But
Ted Turner had an obsession with Vince McMahon. That's all.
He just wanted to beat Vince. That was
right. But like wrestling, I don't think he had the passion for wrestling.
He didn't care about it.
NWA on TBS was a fixture way before Eric Bischoff was ever in the picture.
Yeah, but it
didn't hurt Ted Turner when he lost WCW.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like he moved on. He moved on.
Well, that merger wasn't. The merger wasn't all on him, right? They merged. AOL Time Warner merged, and then the higher ups was like, nah. The moment the wrestling ratings slipped, because I don't think they didn't really care about wrestling. WCW was like the redheaded stepchild of CNN and Time Warner,
right?
Until it got super hot, and it was like, yeah, let's get some tickets. But then the moment them ratings slipped was like, let's get
y'all the problem,
here, right? You know what I mean? So I can't speak to Ted Turner except I know he had a passion because Braves baseball, the Atlanta Hawks, Andy Griffith, and wrestling was like his 4 pillars of TBS, back in the day, back before it was Eric Bischoff.
I don't know. I feel like I don't. Ted,
he could have started another wrestling company.
It's the people that he was hiring too, though, that make it seem like he didn't care.
You delegate, big man, and then you delegate to the others, and then the others is like, nah, what's this triple cage match? David Arquette, what are you talking about? No, let's get this out of here. Ready to rumble? I am not ready to rumble.
See,
I am not ready.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't blame Tony on that one. I don't blame.
It started going down for WCW way past that when they lost Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho and them, and they went to WWE. That's when this just started with the cruiserweight title was.
See the writing on the wall.
It was gone.
Yep. Yep. Because they just kept relying on, they're bringing in these older guys, and the homegrown talent. They weren't really pushing them to the forefront. So then you got guys like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Saturn, all those guys saying, you know what, we're gonna try, WWE. And at that time, WWE was like all about building up these young guys to build up into the next stars, whereas WCW, they're like, okay, the Hogans, the Flairs, we're gonna keep pushing them, the Stings. It's just downfall.
It's crazy because Vince said he likes Tony Khan, because I feel like Tony Khan remind him of himself. Tony Khan is nothing but a younger Vince in the 80s. That's all he is.
I think Tony Khan actually likes wrestling more than Vince. I think Vince likes the pageantry, the production.
That's a tough one for me, man. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say Vince doesn't like wrestling. I will not say that.
Maybe now. Okay.
I think he likes promoting.
Yeah, now I can question it. I don't know if he still has the passion like he did,
like he used to. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah.
He loves the business, not the.
He loves the money.
He loves the money. Not the business of pro wrestling.
Clearly, he's closed off from. We talked about it here that they act like other promotions don't even exist. So wrestling on a whole, I feel like Vince doesn't see it, doesn't care. He's done. It's the business that he holds with WWE. And that's all that exists, and that's all that matters. So
I mean, he doesn't even watch NXT.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't even pay attention to his own product.
NXT, let alone anything else going on outside of WWE. Yep,
that's true.
I mean,
like he only came to Adam Cole because he was leaving.
Yeah.
I always say, what was all the big fuss about him? Like, oh, this guy,
right? Let's cut his hair.
Maybe a manager.
Change your name.
Right.
That's Michael Cole's son.
Because of Michael Cole, really?
Right.
We probably that's Michael Cole's son this whole time.
That would have been a storyline.
But even like when you take it back to like when WWF went global with Hulkamania, like it wasn't so much the product. And even to take it back around to like Tony Khan, right? Back in the 80s, NWA was sending their shots to WWF like this is the real wrestling. Whereas Vince was promoting larger than life personalities, right? And then in the mid 90s, it was, WWF was shooting the shots with Billionaire Ted and the Huckster and the Nacho Man. And then Eric was like, okay, well, Vince, come to Slamboree, we can throw these hands, right? So there's always aspect of back and forth, but I think with Vince, it's. I always say WWE is a TV show about wrestling. It's not a wrestling show. It's a TV show about
wrestling. Yep.
Yeah.
Like
because it's SmackDown, we didn't get wrestling for like 40 minutes. We got sports entertainment.
Promo.
Boom.
And I was glued, and I was fine. I wasn't even playing. I wasn't like, what a wrestling at?
Like the biggest change of NXT and NXT 2.0 is that we have more promos in NXT 2.0 than we ever did in NXT. NXT was all about wrestling. You put on the show. Takeover was 5 matches, and that was it. But now we got the Wendy Williams style talk show. We got someone sitting in the middle of the ring, cutting a promo, sitting in a chair, so, and then we got vignettes of people, cutting promos as well. So it's like, it's all more about that, they say it themselves. It's sports entertainment. It's all about entertainment.
Heart attack.
Exactly. It's entertainment. It's not about the wrestling. They they go off of, like we heard with the rumors, they're going off of looks versus the talent, because that's what NXT was. It was about the talent, and that's why it was winning the whole time. But then slowly, the more important thing was about the looks, and can you cut a promo versus, well, what can you do in the ring? Can you put on these 5-star matches? Can you tell a story in the ring versus tell a story on the mic? That's why we see like such a vast difference between people like Miro and Andrade and Pac, people who WWE had. Pretty much almost everyone in AEW was with WWE at one point. And, they had that talent, but they just didn't want to do with them. They didn't want to play to their strengths. So, They had Kenny Omega.
Yep.
Almost.
Developmental.
Yeah, almost.
Developmental,
now.
yeah.
They had him way. They had him way back in the day. They had the
Trips
Young
was this
Bucks.
close.
They had the Young Bucks.
They had the Young
Yep.
Bucks way
Yep.
back in the day. They had
Yep.
Ricky Starks back in the day. So they had MJF. They had them all, and
Samoa Joe shoving them.
they had all of them, and they decided they didn't want it.
It's crazy because Trips and Cody and them was at Kenny and Young Bucks at the same time. So it was like this close they would have got him.
It was all right there.
I know Triple H wanted Kenny Omega bad too.
Oh yeah.
NXT 1.0 because it wasn't gonna shake. Braun Breaker and Kenny Omega was not about the main event. No Halloween.
You saw when he dropped the Impact title, he was like, I'm about to fight who next? Oh no, Christian. Christian.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
You can do this.
I done leveled down enough. I'm not.
But even if you check out the format of like a Dynamite, like I realized AEW figured out their format when Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega opened up Dynamite. I realized, and I thought back to other episodes, they'll start out with a hot match that you want to see.
Yeah.
Then fill up the rest of the show and then end it with maybe not as hot of a match, but a very worthy main event. I think that was main evented by Britt Baker and Ruby Soho.
Mm-hmm.
The Grand Slam Dynamite. So I think they figured out their format. Start with a hot match, give the rest of the show, finish with a strong match on top of it. So
because that Kenny and Daniel match was, oh my god,
absolutely.
That was Kenny. That was New Japan Kenny that day.
Time limit draw being potentially match of the year. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Like,
and that goes to show. Yeah. No one really complained. Well, people complained about it, but it wasn't. It wasn't overshadowed by the match. It had that happen in WWE. It's in the end of the world because they do it all the time. They do the no contest finishes, stuff like that.
Double count out.
Double count out. You hit the person,
all that good stuff.
You hit the head on the tables, automatic disqualification.
Right.
Oh my god.
Tony said, "You want to go to Japan, Daniel? I'll have Japan come to you." Okada in the States.
I'll have Japan come to you.
Yeah.
Okada is in the States.
Yeah.
Just saying. Book it.
Book it. Make that happen. I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there.
This has been a great conversation on the Clark Street Wrestling After Hours. Definitely one time again. I want to thank y'all again for answering the call.
Thank you.
Definitely got to bring y'all up and have another great conversation with whatever is on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it right here. I'm gonna give me some Z's.
Yeah, I'm saying midnight for us here, for me here.
Yeah. Well, it's like 1 o'clock for you.
I was gonna say.
It's 12
Central Time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's only midnight. 12:20.
Yeah, it's one over here.
Only midnight, like you a night owl. Like
it's
only midnight. I'm about to be up another 4 hours. Man.
Yes. Thank you, y'all for sticking with us. It's been a pleasure, been fun, and we'll do it again. Sometime soon.
Hell yeah.
I gotta catch it. I work early in the morning too, so I'm like, oh shit. Looking at it like, you're right, it is.
Get them Z's.
Got all them Z's. Y'all be safe.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Yep.
Have a good one.